What's up, everyone, and welcome to an unboxing of Zombicide Invader. Roll the intro. So I'm ready to do a Zombicide Invader unboxing, a little bit different than probably every single unboxing that I've done and everyone else has done, and it's very simply that I'm going to give you a first impressions review. Instead of doing what we normally do of showing you all the components and everything like that, there are a wealth of videos on Zombicide Invader already. There's probably, if you search Zombicide Invader unboxing, you'll see 40 or 50 of them that have really great camera setups so that you can see everything very up close and personal. Not to mention you can go and look at the Kickstarter. I think what you care about as people who are subscribed to my channel and friends of this channel, you care about what I'm seeing in them and how I think they're going to paint up and things like that. And I think that maybe is more worth watching, but that's enough of talking and jibber-jabbering. Let's see what is in this box. And you'll notice also a little bit of a different setup. I have this camera over here so I can do close-ups of the things that I'm talking about. So we start with the Soldier Extras pack. Let's see, is that in shot? Where is it? There we go. So like that. That's where the shot is. Okay. Then we have the Civilians Extra pack. We have the Kabuki Gang Survivor pack. We have Zombicide Black Ops. And we have Zombicide Invader, the main game. We also have some blue dice and some extra little pieces here. So that is it for this box. Let me get a knife. Back with a knife. All right. So most importantly, what did I back? Like, what pledge is this? Well, I got the main pledge, which is the Zombicide Invader board game. And then I also got the expansion pack of Zombicide Black Ops. The only add-ons that I got were this blue dice set and the Kabuki Gang Survivor pack. So, of course, we'll open those and check those out and see what they look like. So, first things first, this is a retail copy. So we have all the cool stuff on the back here, showing it just like all the CMON games. Tells you what comes in the game, tells you a little bit about the, like story, what are you trying to do and everything. But we all know this is a Zombicide game. It should have probably been called Xenocide, but here we are, Zombicide Invader. That works for us. Let's open it up and see what we get. So, right here on the top, we have our rule book. One of the problems that Cool Mini or Not has consistently is that they seem to really not test play their scenarios as well as they could. So missions start way back here on page 38. So this is a 55-page rule book. And the missions start on page 38. And if you played a Zombicide game before, then this is very familiar to you. The symbology is different, of course, because it's a new game, but you can see how to set up all the scenarios, what map tiles to use, etc. And then in the very beginning, we have our components list and a index to help you find everything better, which is always really awesome. And then in the back, as usual, they do have a glossary and another index, which is always great. I really appreciate that about their games specifically. Well, it looks like I've got some new rules to learn. Then we have a pack of the spawn points. Now, these spawns are unique to Invader in that they're thin card. They're not cardboard, but you get quite a ton. I hope I never see this many on the board. But they come out onto the board with different events or different things that can happen, and then they get placed along. This is probably my first critique. I am not a fan of the move by the companies to save money on these types of things and go with something very thin. Now, you could have purchased the plastic upgrade pack, and these would be plastic, and we wouldn't be having this conversation, but that means you have to spend more money to get them. I feel like these are just a very inelegant thing that no matter what, at least some of them will have ripped and damaged edges by the time you're done playing with them, and they're going to get bent as people try to grab them. They also don't have a spot in the box. They just sit on top. Those are all things that I do not like. So starting off with a critique, let's try to get to some positivity. I'd rather not sit here and just talk bad about the game for the entire time. That would be terrible. Here's something that CMON does well. Then we're going to go to something they do poorly again. But they do well is their tokens are usually very thick cardboard or cardstock. As you can see here, they're quite thick. I don't really know how many GSM. I don't know if this is 300 or if this is 500 or if this switches to pounds per square inch or whatnot. Sorry, not an expert on paper printing. If you are, or if you really know that, tell me down in the comments. I would love to learn. But here you go. The token, only one sheet of tokens? There's got to be more than one sheet of tokens. There's only one sheet of tokens in this game. That's excellent. Very few. So we got our sound markers, our doors, objective markers, spawn points, and the exit button. I don't know what these do yet because I obviously haven't played the game yet, so I'll find out later. There's the other side of them. See how they punch out? Oh, they have their little hanging tags. Of course, I don't knock games so bad for doing that. I don't think that they need to pop out absolutely perfectly. They're cardboard tags. What I care about more is that they need to not split. They need to be strong, healthy little pieces. Let's look at the map tiles. Now, something that I'm critical of, and I want to always be certain of, is when I'm looking at these tiles, number one, right off the bat, I can tell you, these look excellent. They are striking. It looks like two of the same... Oh, they're different numbered tiles, but they look very, very similar. They might be the exact same tile. Nope, they are different. Like, if you look down here, this has an exploded tank. This one has a complete tank. But they're kind of the same overall. But what I look for is the artwork of this tile completely original? In other words, does this square right here, does it have any art assets that are repeated throughout? Like, am I going to find this rock just turned around somewhere else? Or am I going to find this little box right here rotated and put somewhere else? And on first glance, I'm not even seeing that repeated on the tiles that look the same. Now, you can see on the wall here, there's dust and debris. Then on the wall right here, there isn't. It's cleaner. On this side over here, there's some dust and debris, but it's in different spaces than on this one here. I didn't show you. This one here is different than the dust and debris on this one. So I like that they're giving us unique art assets. Everything looks to be original. Now, of course, I will study that a little bit more. This is only on first impression, but first impression, we're looking at some really unique, awesome artwork. So let's talk about something that I usually don't like about CMON games. We'll go back and forth here. Now, this is something I know I was getting myself into because it's the same with Hate. It's the same with Zombicide Green Horde. It's the same with Kick-Ass, which Kick-Ass was a little bit better. It's even the same with their non-miniature games. They are absolutely horrible at offering you a storage solution. So as you look in here, I have these liners that keep the tiles in place. We have this big box right here that, spoiler alert, is full of minis. There's nowhere to put these comfortably. There's definitely places to put them, I can throw them in the holes here and just let them slide around. But there's nowhere to comfortably put them. You also see there's no baggies that are given to us. These things were just sitting on top. So that's something that frustrates me about Cool Mini or Not. They do a really good job of packaging the minis so that they're really nice and safe. But everyone has to figure out their own storage solution when it comes to the tokens and everything like that. And it's a little frustrating when you're buying a premium product and it might not be as premium as it could be. We'll say it that way. So then we open up this monster. And our first thing is our cards. Now the cards are redesigned for this game. And I believe that Zombicide, the original, is coming out with a second edition, and that Zombicide second edition will be using this style of card where there's variable healths for the characters rather than just the 3 that everyone gets. Now characters can have up to 6. And then all of their actions on the left-hand side. Now this specifically has 2 different classes of characters. In the corner here you see that this is a soldier, and then this person is a civilian. So really nice artwork, very common artwork that we see, even though they work with very different artists. Adrian Smith is very common that they work with. They're doing the new game with a different artist, but one that has done Zombicide expansions before, and that's pretty awesome that they work with different artists that way. But they all sort of have that same feel and look to them. Now this is something interesting. You get a couple extra of these. You get a full bag of these here. So I'm going to blend those 2 together. Here's our die. Now the die are not special. They're just red die. You could, if you wanted to expand your game and buy more of these so that more people have them, just go get some bicycle ones for $1. They're the same. But that will lead me into this. Now this is not in the game, but I want to talk about this early because I'm going to throw it in this box with the rest of them. This is the first time I've ever bought a cosmetic upgrade for a game. And it's because I know I'm going to play a ton of this game. So here are the blue die. I bought the blue dice set. So there's the 5, the 6, 3, 2, maybe that's the 6 and that's the 1, I guess. I don't know. Roll just like regular die. So there you go. And they are indented and then painted within the indent. I am not really in love with the shade of gray that they are. I was hoping that they would be a more jet black, but the blue is really nice. I like the blue color. And then we, of course, have our standees. So if you are not going to paint your minis, if you want to learn how to paint your minis, stick around at the channel or go view my old videos. Right up there. You can go view those old videos of Zombicide Green Horde and, learn how to come up with color schemes for yourself. And trust me, it's not too hard. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Trust me. So then, let's move into these little cards. I'm probably going to go through this quickly because the cards themselves are going to be the same. CMON basically does the same thickness of their cards for all of their games. Yeah, these are incredibly thin, but they work well because you don't use them that often. The artwork actually looks very reminiscent of like Borderlands almost. I mean, it's not as outlandish and crazy, but it's very Borderlands-esque in the design and the color choices. And you have like your starting weapons here. And this one also has a very unique function in that items can be combined. So I'm skipping through these really quickly. We have our starting items, we have other items, and then we have our horde of mutants and Xenos that you put into the deck and pull out, and that's how you get guys going. So let's take a look at a couple of the miniatures. So of course we'll look at the big guy. So here's what he looks like with me. There you go. There's My face is the size of an average human male. There you go. Here he is up close. So cool mini or not, makes cool minis. That is for damn sure. So it definitely has, you know, mold lines and the common things that come with plastic miniatures. You got gaps to fill if you're going to paint. Gaps to fill there, but just a very, very cool miniature. It looks so good. So easy to be impressed when things look this good. Here is your big robo mech that's coming around to help you out. He's a good guy. The detail on the folds of these is just incredible. They're getting better and better every single time. They were already great, especially for mass-produced. There's one of our soldiers. They just look excellent. Excellent. Let's take a look real quick at our board. Now this new board design is great. I think that this is actually a pretty cool thing. Now I haven't had a chance to actually use it yet, but I think that this is a pretty cool board. So what happens is you can now put a weapon that is like loaded. So if you're using a flamethrower, you'd have your flamethrower here, and then your flame canister slides in here to show that you are able to use it. This is your backpack. Up here are your extra points, your life, and your abilities. But if you, I don't know if you can see it really well. There you go. With on the camera, right here is a lip that allows it that when these cards are put here, it makes it easy to grab as it comes off. It sort of pops it up for you. And you can see they're also right here to help you with that. They're not here because that only pops out at the end of the game. So you can just turn it over and shake it. And then, of course, you get this giant pack of miniatures. I'm not going to take them all out. We're just going to look at them and absolutely enjoy. Here's one for you. How great they are. So even on the little minis, the ones that you're going to just throw onto the table and throw back off again, they've put detail and love into. So I'm going to put this all back together. I'm learning how to use this camera, so I'm going to reset this camera and be right back in a second. Okay, time to look at Zombicide Black Ops. This is sort of an expansion piece. Now this one is not standalone during the campaign. They also had a standalone expansion that was sort of like the Zombicide Green Horde, which makes me think that they're not going to do another Zombicide Alien version, because they recently have been doing just sort of like 2 pieces to it. We'll see. I mean, like, it's hard to predict without any real evidence. So I don't want to say they're never going to make an expansion for this, or they're never going to do more for this. If this turns out to be the one that everybody loves, then we will definitely see more of it. So we have our new instruction booklet with, I'm guessing that Paint Me Black. I'm just looking here, can also be played with Zombicide Dark Side. And Dark Side is that expansion that's sort of like Green Horde. It's completely standalone, or it can be played with the original game as an expansion. The same way that I was going to say Black Ops, but not Black. This is Black Ops. The Green Horde and Black Plague could be played together. So again, it's got your additional missions and scenarios, and that's the thing that I like the most. That's a huge mission there. That's the thing that I liked the most, was new missions and scenarios. Probably a few more game rules. You get a couple more tiles. And I'm not going to pop these open because there's not really that much of a point to. They are very pretty. Let's see. We got some more cards. No need to pop them open either. Let's get into the meat of this and see what we got going on. So, there isn't a ton that's in this expansion. We first have some crazy new colors. Why are there crazy new colors? Well, this game allows you to play the game with 12 minis on the table. So instead of the normal 6 that you play with, you can play up with 12 people, which would make this game take 6 freaking hours. So it's probably not the best idea. but you can if you want to. And you can also, very excitingly, play with 12 miniatures, which is something that I probably will do. Again, you get the boards. No difference on the boards. They're the same ones. But underneath, we have our new heroes. More of these spawn points. The nests, I think is what they're called. And here's one of the main reasons to get this. Is this big monster here. His butt cheeks. It's very furry. And very gross. And very cool. And I'm very excited to paint him. Get another scary mech to walk around and help kill stuff for you. We have another turret. And here's another look at the soldiers. So same quality that we expect from all their games. It's not like the main game is going to be gorgeous and this game's going to be junk. It looks very, very similar in pretty much every way. So very cool to have that. It's just more content. It's almost as if it was stretch goals that gave us this. Just more stuff, right? Let's go to the soldiers extra, the nice small one. Just see what we're getting here. So we have a very tiny rule book right here. Some very creepy and cool artwork on there. That's a neat little bit of artwork. We have our cards. We have our cards for the bad guys, including this super creepy brood mother. That's actually her back, I think. This is the front. That's the face. Face only the father of her babies could love. Let's see, and then you... Ooh, this is the first that I remember of a miniature you have to put together. I don't know if I must be doing it right. Just can't go the other way. Well, there you go. Helps it stand up. It's on a little peg there. Very cool. And there's the creep from the front there. Muscly and tentacly and disgusting and wonderful. Very cool. And then this is neat. We have some really tiny guys. So something that I'm noticing as well here is that in Zombicide Green Horde, there is a sheet that comes on this that tells you where to put your miniatures back to make sure that they go back into the box properly. This game does not have that. Another thing that I'm noticing is that Zombicide Green Horde came with a second box. And that box was called the Horde Box, and that was all the stretch goals. And it was bundled with a box that had artwork on it. This comes in cardboard boxes that I have to then store. This random box here, this random box here, and this giant box over here. So, I don't know, well, it's obvious that that's a money-saving technique. They're trying to save money, but I don't know if that's a good technique. I don't think that is... If you're going to have to charge an extra $1 or $2 to be able to make a box that looks nice, then do it. You don't have to make it an even $120. It can be $122. Or add it to one of the stretch goals. So you were going to put in a miniature or something like that you were going to have to pay for the sculpting, you're going to have to pay for all that stuff. Just don't put in that miniature and put in a box for these stretch goals so that we can have it clean and nice and all put together so that I can display it on my shelf with 2 giant boxes here and a bunch of cardboard boxes. Because basically what I'm going to do is not keep these. I'm going to paint them, I'm going to totally enjoy them, I'm going to play the heck out of them. But there's no reason for me to keep a cardboard box on my shelf. It's going to look terrible. And as I open, I can tell you, well, if you saw my unboxing of Hate, you saw me drop the box and then go, did I do this? You know, Steve Urkel and such. I watched a bunch of reviews and things, and people had said their miniatures had fallen apart and were all over the place during shipping, and we can now see that it's way worse. Way, way worse here than it ever was with Zombicide. So I'm not going to sit and put these all back together, but you can see they're just in a pile here. There's just a pile of miniatures at this point. Even the big ones, which are absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait to throw paint on this guy. This thing looks amazing. Ooh, look at that. That is sharp and scary. I love it. Hope this is in focus. It looks like it is. Looks like it's focusing on them. If not, I apologize. So we got our cards. We know they're going to be exactly the same as the ones in there, so that's fine. I can tell you, I'm incredibly disappointed with this. Not only it being all over the place and need to be cleaned up, but the fact that it just came in a brown cardboard box that I now need to find a place to put it. And I believe Massive Darkness came that way as well. I'm not 100% certain, but all of the packages of Hate came in boxes with artwork. The Zombicide Green Horde expansion came with artwork. So we'll see if this is the trend, or if it's just this one ended up costing them too much and they needed to get it out. Whatever, but I can tell you, kind of disappointing. Now the bottom layer looks safe. The bottom layer looks good. And I'm looking through them, and I'm trying to see if on first impression I find any that have been warped or are all mushy or anything like that, but I don't see anything. And here's Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty. And of course he's going to have a different name in this, but that's who he is. And here's Harrison Ford from Blade Runner. Looks incredible. Like the face detail it's incredible that they can do better than they've already done, but they continue to do better on the miniatures. They have not failed me on that. And then, hey, look, Claptrap, the Buddy Bot. That's cool. I forgot that he was in this. They put him in it. So it just talks a little bit about the different abominations in this rule book, and how to use the new Xenos and how they act differently than the other ones. And then this sheet that they gave in Green Horde, where you can either put it facing up or facing down to like remind you where all of these things go. Well, we got one box left. And obviously it's the same as these other ones here in that it's not that impressive. Do we have anything about them? Nope. So it doesn't even tell the story of them on here. Does it say it on the cards? So I had a hell of a time opening these, but the Kabuki Gang is an actual performance troupe. Okay, so there is a little bit of story here. It's on a card, and then you get your same artwork cards. I love this, though. I love that on the back. They could have just put Zombicide logo, but they do the full artwork there. That really helps with painting. If you're going to paint, that gives you a good idea of what they could look like if you wanted to do them in those color schemes. Remember, you can always paint them however you want to. You do not need to follow the scheme that comes in the box. You can do it however the heck you want. So here's some of those minis. And I picked this one because they're very unique looking. They're very different. And I just thought it would be really fun to paint in these colors. Just do something different than the normal drab colors that this world invokes. But thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think about the game so far, if you've been able to play it. The United States got it really, really late because Quartermaster Logistics in Florida has a backlog of tons and tons and tons of games because Kickstarter is so popular and everyone uses either Ship Naked or Quartermaster Logistics. Neither here nor there. I got my game. It looks to all be here. It looks to have shipped in excellent quality. I'm very excited to sit down, learn the rules, and play a couple games, then come back and start painting for you, and start and start a review for you. And let me know down below which characters you would like to see painted first. Obviously, I have not started at all. The day that this goes up, I will have opened the box the day before, so it's not even like I've had a chance to get started on these guys. So let me know. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. New outro, I know. If you want to watch more in this series, click right here. If you would like to watch another video in a completely different series, click right here. And if you'd like an easy way to subscribe, other than clicking down below, even though it's right there and it says subscribe, you can click on this little picture right here. That also works.